Are there any allergies to meat? Is anyone allergic to meat? There are people who will say they are, and I made a YouTube short video recently saying that there were no meat allergies and that no one is allergic to meat. But it was a short, and a short is a 60-second. It's limited by YouTube to 60 seconds, so you don't get to explain much science, you just get to make a quick point, and that's what I was doing. So I'm really grateful for the feedback that I got from people who queried that short and said, my sister is allergic to pork, or I have a meat allergy of some sort, or what about people with alpha-gal syndrome? And that was brilliant, because that allows me to now come back and make this video where I have just a little more time to explain to you what is actually going on if you have experienced some kind of allergic reaction after eating meat, so that you can understand what it is. Now, I'm going to explain two things. So if neither of those two issues covers something that you want to know about, please write in the comments below with a question, and hopefully I'll see it and I'll be able to reply to it. But welcome to Shape Fixer. I'm Andrew. I am a nutritionist, and I still say there is no such thing as a meat allergy, and I'm going to explain to you why that is. Okay, first up, an allergy, a food allergy, strictly speaking, is a very intense reaction to a protein or an amino acid, which is part of a protein, from your immune system, which identifies that protein as something that needs to be attacked, or it is something that your body absolutely cannot digest or process or deal with. It's a protein. Okay, allergic reaction is a reaction to a protein. Now, in the case of alpha-gal, which seems to be probably more common than most people realize, people eat meat and then they have what amounts to an allergic reaction. It's usually not as quick as a strict allergic reaction. It takes a bit longer. Typically it's a lot of itch and rash, and it's a high level intolerance rather than an allergy, but it can actually reach the level of the person going into shock. So it's not to be trifled with, and it is very, very real. But what is it? If it's not a meat allergy, what is it actually? It is a reaction to a type of sugar called galactose 1,2-galactose. Not important. It's a type of sugar that is part of the cell membrane of mammal cells, but not apes and higher primates and humans. So we don't have it in our cell membranes, but the mammals we eat do. And there are some people who have a really violent immune reaction to that sugar. Hence, they think they have an allergy to meat. The reason they are reacting to that sugar is because at some point in their history, they were bitten by a tick, or they had Lyme disease. Now, not everybody who's bitten by a tick even knows they've been bitten by a tick. They might have thought it was a mosquito bite and not even remember. But if you are bitten by a tick and infected, part of what your immune system learns when it fights off this infection and you recover is it learns to recognize the toxins and the components of that infection in case it ever happens again. And one of the things that your immune system learns to do is to recognize galactose 1,2-galactose, or the so-called alpha-gal sugar, as part of the infection of a tick bite. So now your immune system is programmed to attack and inflame in response to the presence of this particular type of sugar, which happens to also be part of the cell membrane of a mammal. So now you eat mammal meat, you get this sugar into your system, and your immune system kicks off. And that resembles an allergic reaction to the meat. Now, this is of no real comfort to the person who suffers it. It's very real. They can't eat the meat. They have a horrible reaction. But it's not, strictly speaking, a meat allergy. It's an alpha-gal syndrome. It's a reaction to a sugar that comes in that food. It's not a reaction to a protein. Now, the good news for anyone who does suffer from this is that very often, within 1 to 3 years, you'll sort of grow out of it. It will go away, and you'll be able to eat meat again. So that's alpha-gal. Alpha-gal is a sugar. The second issue that can happen, and this is particularly relevant to people who can't eat pork, and they have reactions when they eat pork. If you are allergic to cats, if you are allergic to cat hair, your immune system becomes highly sensitive to cat hair or to anything associated with cat hair, and there are amino acids, there are compounds in pork specifically which resemble constituent of cat hair. So if you have a cat hair allergy, not everybody with a cat hair allergy, but some people with a cat hair allergy will have an immune system that is so sensitive to every component of the cat hair that they start reacting to pork. Because again, the immune system is confused and thinks it's cat hair. Okay, it's not a pork allergy. It's not a meat allergy. It is a cat hair allergy, which again doesn't help you if you're one of the unfortunate people who suffer from this, because now you can't eat pork. So don't eat pork. But understand, just for interest's sake, it's not actually a pork allergy. It's a cat hair. It's a cat hair allergy. So there are no documented meat, protein, food allergies. There just aren't any. Which isn't to say that we won't find one day, I guess, maybe, but there's nothing on record scientifically that can be classed as an allergic reaction to meat. Okay, so that's the clarification. Tick bite, cat hair, these are reawakening of your immune system to something that it had to fight before, and your immune system has a memory, a so-called memory, to help you fight off the same thing when you get it again. And in both those cases, it's actually mistaking something in the meat for an infection or an allergy or an issue that you've had before. So I hope that makes it a little plainer, a little clearer. But as I said, get in the comments below, please, especially if you are an expert in allergies, or if you're a doctor and you know of other examples of so-called pseudo-allergies or false allergies where people have what, to all intents and purposes, is an allergic reaction or resembles an allergic reaction to something that might not be actually a protein, but can be confused like that. And we tend to use the word allergy quite loosely. We mix it up with the word intolerance. I've done a video explaining the difference between allergies and intolerances. I'll link that down here because that's quite interesting as well. A lot of us are intolerant to lactose or to gluten, and then we say we're allergic to it. We're not allergic, we're intolerant. It is also slightly different. And there you go. Thank you for your time. Please share this with anyone who believes they are allergic to meat, because they may find the answer to that in this video. Thank you very much.